Everybody's Tyler here at the Championships, checking in team number 179, Children of the Swamp. An absolutely phenomenal team that has 3 regional wins under their belt already, ranked 14th in the FRC Top 25 poll. And to help me speak more about this fantastic robot, I have Aiden and LaJohn. And you just got to check out, I love the foam intake, by the way, here, super cool. They had a lot of different iterations we'll talk about. I'll go into this almost a spin dexter type mechanism, and of course through their cargo path, shooter, and climber. So pay attention to what goes into this incredible machine coming up here on Behind the Bumpers.
Your destination for first content, updates, and gaming.
Welcome to the fun.
First Updates Now is supported by Stryker Careers. If you are a college student or recent graduate looking for an incredible internship, take a look at Stryker. Stryker provides a housing stipend, great pay, and an opportunity to work with state-of-the-art medical technology equipment. Discover why so many First alumni are coming to Stryker for their internship or career at careers.stryker.com. First Updates Now is supported by Kettering University. Kettering University hosts 3 co-op employment fairs each year for incoming and current students. Participating in the co-op employment process at Kettering is a great way to begin turning your robotics experience into a professional career to earn money towards graduating debt-free. If you are a senior, it's not too late to apply at kettering.edu/apply.
So Aiden, let's start out on your intake here. I'd love to hear about, I see there's a bunch of different types of wheels on here. So talk to me about the iterations you've gone through and how you came up with the foam rollers for it.
All right, so at the beginning, we had started with these rubber wheels, and the original design called for a little bump bar that would come down and lay on the bumpers here. But when we first put those wheels on without the bar and tested it out, it worked without them. So we decided we didn't want to use the bar because that's just extra complications that we didn't need, nothing, we didn't want it to break or anything. So that worked for our first competition, and it brought in balls well when this comes down. It brought in the balls well enough, but we had noticed that balls coming in from the side more would not really come in as nicely as we wanted them to without the bumper bar. So we started to try out some different things. So we first tried putting some mechanisms on the outside to try and draw the ball into the middle, and that did work. But we wanted larger wheels to go along with it. So we tested out some different foam wheels. So we had both these ones here and the foam wheels you see on there now, and we just ended up liking these ones better.
Sure.
And we had the foam wheels and the mechanisms, but when we tested it with just more foam wheels and not the mechanisms, that worked just as well. So just simplified it to just using the foam. And we have a few different designs for the foam. We have the round ones, and we have these bricks that we've been trying out on the outsides. Just kind of an interesting extra design that we just decided to see if we could use.
At what point did you switch over to this type of design? Was this before your first regional, or was it during the middle of competition season?
No, it was before our third regional that
Sure.
we switched to that. So, yeah.
Let's talk about next your agitator mechanism that you have. Love to hear more about that. And then afterwards, why don't we grab a piece of cargo and put it in as well?
Okay, so basically when we were designing our intake, we made sure that we made it nice and large so that we could take in 2 balls at the same time. But the problem with that is that if that ever happened where 2 balls came at the exact same time and we're trying to index it to only 1 ball at a time, you can run into jamming problems. So our solution to that was this agitator. So this is able to spin, and that makes sure that if there's 2 balls set next to each other, that one will overtake, and we can demonstrate that. So if those are in like that, it's able to spin, and only one will be indexed at a time.
And then do you have any sort of sensors in regards to like a color sensor or anything if you intake the wrong color?
Yeah, actually I'm going to pass it to LaJohn, and he's going to talk a bit about the sensors because that's moving in towards the indexer there.
Yeah.
So.
On our robot, we have a few sensors. We have 2 sensors on the side here of our indexer, basically just to tell the position of the balls and how they're sitting in our indexer. And then along here in the middle, we have a color sensor that we added recently, and it basically just uses LED to flash against the ball and tell what color it is.
Sure.
And then by that, we can automatically spit out a blue if we're on red team and then shoot the red, or if we're on blue team, spit out a red.
Where does it actually spit out from? Are you doing it through your shooter, or is there a different spot?
So if it comes in, say we're on red team and the blue comes in first, we can just plop it out at the front and then shoot our red ball next. And then if a blue comes in behind, we can easily just pull it out from the back and reverse our rollers at the front.
Makes sense. As we continue in through your indexer on there, anything to talk about? Like, I know you got those extra wheels in there for some compression to bring it up. So talk to me about that, and then your shooter as well.
So initially when we started out the season, we had an indexer full of rollers and pulleys on both sides, but we noticed that that was pretty heavy, and we also wanted the positioning of the ball to be different when it comes up to the shooter. So in turn, we changed before our third regional to less wheels to take some weight off of the robot. And also we were thinking about changing the height of our indexer too, but we noticed that after watching a few matches back that we can actually shoot over a lot of our defenders, so we chose to keep the height at where it is now.
Yeah, I think an interesting thing with the meta of this game is that we really haven't seen that much in regards to like trying to block or anything like that. Like, there's been a couple robots made out there, but yeah, I agree with you. Like, it just doesn't seem as necessary anymore for that. So as we go into your shooter, talk to me more about your turret, the positions of the hood, and love to hear more about this wheel and kind of the material and the grooving you use on that as well.
So we have a turret that shoots 180 both directions.
Sure.
So here we have a turret that shoots 180 both directions, and throughout the design process, at the beginning of the year, we only had one flywheel at the front. And like you were saying about the O-rings, we were testing a bunch of O-rings throughout the season, different sizes, different materials, things like that. And we ended up on these O-rings here. And also we have our hood on the back, which can go to various positions and change the speed of the flywheel at the same time to shoot from various areas on the field. So initially we didn't have our flywheel, our second flywheel at the top. We had a kicker right under our main flywheel at the front.
Okay.
But we noticed that we had a lot of backspin and a lot of bounce outs at our initial competition in South Florida. So in order to counteract that, we added a flywheel at the top, which spins slightly slower than our wheel at the front in order to knock out the backspin.
Oh, talking about, so this almost, it's like a housing almost at the same point as it goes on, right? Just talk to me a little bit more about that design.
So we made it in order so we can press fit our Neo 550, and we also glue it inside too, so it stays still. And
that's awesome.
That's what's housed in our flywheel up top.
I love the packaging on that. That's really cool. So let's start to wrap up on your robot. We're going to go hand it over back to Aiden. He's going to talk about your climber and some of the climb sequence. And I know Timothy will help demonstrate some of the different positions as we go through as well.
Yeah, so for our climb, the first thing that happens is it extends up, so it turns to come off the hooks and extends through these gas shocks here. And from there, it's able to go under the lowest bar, and once it does, it lines up for the mid rung, like this. So the mid rung would be right here, and it's able to pass past it like this, and then grab the mid rung. And from there, it swings itself up to the next rung. So as it moves, it's able to hold on to the rung with like a wrist movement like this. So as it's rotating, it'll stay on the bar without needing to like clamp down on it or anything like that. And once it makes it up to the next rung, it goes past it and then comes back down onto it slightly. So that'll bring it back onto the next bar and lift it off the last bar, and then it will rotate back through to the last bar and be able to finish the process.
Your team, especially early on, was definitely one of the quickest climbs I've seen out there to get traversal. What's kind of your optimized quickest time now coming to the championships?
So there has been a few optimizations, and I think we've got it down to about 10 seconds for a climb. We have done slightly faster than that, but it's not as reliable, and it can do a little weird things. So we like to keep it a little bit slower just to make sure that it works out every time.
Well, 179 Children of Swamp, your robot has been phenomenal this season. Building great robots every year. Some of the best reveal videos, by the way, that your team comes out with. So wish you best of luck here at championships, and thanks a lot for taking time to speak with us about your robot.
Thank you.
Kettering University for their support of this video. Did you know that over 30% of the student population at Kettering University was in high school robotics? These same students have received a portion of over $7 million in robotics scholarships from Kettering University. See why so many in first chose to go to Kettering University at kettering.edu. Thanks to Stryker Careers for their support in this video. Apply the skills you gained as a first student or mentor and help change the world at Stryker. Stryker is the top career choice for many of those in first because of their commitment to innovation and saving lives. Learn more about the incredible culture at Stryker and view their thousands of positions available around the world at careers.stryker.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.